In 2014, the world saw India differently, not as a rising country, but as a country demanding attention. And at the center of that shift was one man, Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi did not simply rise to power. He changed the way India presented itself to the world. Before Modi became Prime Minister, India was already important. It had a massive population, a growing economy, and nuclear power status. But something changed after 2014, and the world started reacting. India was no longer just a country with potential. It became a country determined to shape global events, and that difference changed everything. Born on September 17, 1950, in Vadnagar, Gujarat, Narendra Modi came from a modest background. His early life was far removed from global politics or power. But even then, he was building something. He joined the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, known as the RSS, where he developed discipline, structure, and a strong ideological foundation. From there, he entered the Bharatiya Janata Party, the BJP, and this is where his real rise began. In 2001, Modi became Chief Minister of Gujarat. He stayed in that role for more than a decade. During this time, he built a reputation not just as a politician, but as a leader focused on control, efficiency, and development. To his supporters, he was delivering results. To his critics, concerns were already beginning to form. But regardless of opinion, one thing was clear. Narendra Modi was no longer a regional figure. He was preparing for something bigger. In 2014, that moment arrived. Modi led the BJP to a sweeping national victory, one of the most significant in India's modern political history. For the first time in decades, a single party secured a full parliamentary majority on its own. But Modi did not present himself as just another prime minister. He positioned himself as a leader who would redefine India's place in the world. And people responded. Once in office, Modi began reshaping India's global posture. He invested heavily in personal diplomacy, traveling across continents, building direct relationships with world leaders, and turning foreign policy into a central part of his leadership. But this was not traditional diplomacy. This was strategic positioning. India strengthened ties with the United States. It remained active in alliances like the Quad. At the same time, it maintained long-standing defense and energy relations with Russia. Instead of choosing sides, Modi's India chose something else, independence. And that shift did not go unnoticed. One of the clearest moments came during India's G20 presidency in 2023. That was not just a summit, it was a statement. Modi positioned India as a bridge between developed nations and the global South. Under his leadership, India supported the inclusion of the African Union as a permanent member of the G20, a move seen as both symbolic and strategic. India was no longer just attending global discussions, it was shaping them. And that is exactly why his leadership continues to stand out. Supporters point to India's growing global influence, its infrastructure expansion, and its rapid digital transformation. Today, India remains one of the fastest-growing major economies in the world. Even in times of global uncertainty, it continues to hold its ground. But this story is not one-sided. Narendra Modi is also one of the most debated leaders of our time. Critics argue that while India's global standing has risen, concerns around democratic institutions, minority rights, and political dissent have also grown. His leadership style is often described as highly centralized, with power closely tied to his personal authority. And that tension is part of the story, because Modi's rise globally cannot be separated from the divisions he creates at home. Yet even critics acknowledge one reality. The conversation around India has changed. Global powers now pay closer attention. India is consulted, not ignored. And in recent days, as geopolitical tensions continue to rise, Modi has once again positioned India carefully, balancing economic resilience with complex international relationships. The strategy remains the same: calculated, controlled, visible. So the story of Narendra Modi is not just about elections or policies. It is about perception, it is about timing, and it is about understanding how power works in the modern world. Because today, influence is not only built through military strength or economic size, it is built through presence. And Narendra Modi understood that. He saw an opening to reposition India on the global stage, and he took it. The debate over his legacy is far from over, but one thing is already clear. The world is watching India now, whether it agrees or not.